Richard Herman. They're going to be joining us in the next hour, per usual, to talk some of the most fascinating legal cases. We've got a couple straight ahead. Michael Jackson's ex-wife appearing in court this week, gentlemen, as part of the Jackson family's lawsuit against concert promoter AEG. All right, so a quick reaction. Richard, you first. Did she help the family's case?
Well, you remember Deb Rowe. She's the one that gave up all parental rights. Anyway, does she think that AEG knew Michael Jackson was addicted to propofol and other narcotics? We'll find out.
So Debbie Rowe giving jurors a unique look into Michael Jackson's home life, his love for his children, and his addictions. Let's bring in our legal guys, Avery Friedman, a civil rights attorney and law professor in Cleveland. Good to see you. And Richard
Hi,
Herman.
Frederica.
Hello, a New York criminal defense attorney and law professor joining us from Las Vegas. Good to see you as well.
Hi, Fred.
All right, so Richard, you first. AEG Live's attorneys are the ones who called Debbie Rowe as a witness, but both sides are saying that she helped their case. In what way did she help AEG?
Well, she helped AEG, Fred, because, as you know, this case is brought by the estate of the Jacksons for wrongful death. That AEG negligently hired, supervised, and retained Dr. Conrad Murray, who was convicted of involuntary manslaughter for administering propofol. What she testified to in this case was that at least for 12 years prior to his death, he was on propofol for sleep because he couldn't sleep. So, again, anesthesia for the inability to sleep. So she testified to that for the first time and corroborated the fact that he probably was addicted to propofol as well as other narcotics. And the issue then becomes whether or not AEG knew this and whether or not they knew what Dr. Conrad Murray was doing for Michael Jackson. Of course, they say Michael Jackson insisted Conrad Murray come, so they just paid him. They didn't know what he was doing. But Debbie Rowe said during the dangerous tour, the CEO for AEG knew that Michael Jackson had a major drug problem.
So the family is arguing that AEG was negligent, but AEG is not saying throughout this case that they knew nothing about it, that they didn't know that he had a problem, that they didn't even know that he, had a preference about a doctor. So then, Richard, if that's the case, I mean, doesn't it seem as though the family does not have a necessarily uphill battle to show that AEG was at least complicit in some way?
It's not complicit, Fred. The Jackson family is on this crusade to blame everyone else for the death of Michael Jackson without Michael himself taking the responsibility for it, or themselves, who knew their own son, child, brother. It's ridiculous. Here, AEG is saying, listen, we did not hire Dr. Conrad. We never heard of Dr. Conrad Murray. We didn't know who he was, what he did. It was Michael Jackson who wanted Conrad Murray. So as part of the contract, they said, okay, Michael, we'll pay for your doctor. That doesn't mean they knew what Conrad Murray was doing to Michael Jackson, what drugs he was administering, what treatments he was giving. And that's the issue of the entire case, Fred.
But then
whether AEG knew this.